Check 1, 2. I'll go to that. Let me see. What you think? Yeah. Aye. Urle hard. Okay. Unale power bank. Let's see. Oh, chill out. Hey. Yes. What are we? Just access it. Okay. Are we ready? Are we ready, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning. As you will know that tomorrow we are starting with the placement period for the online admissions for 2025. We are looking at grade 1 and 8. I have MEC is going to be giving us an update on how we're going to be assisting parents with space, and also the HOD will be assisting the MEC to take questions during Q&A. Without any waste of time, I'll call the MEC to come so that it gives us an update on online admissions.
Oh,
Yeah.
I accept technology. I accept the charger. Clearly, I don't know my gadget. Thank you very much. Good morning. Morning, everyone. Thank you, Steve. HOD. Let me quickly get into it. Yeah, we've reached that period again where we're dealing with placements. Where we're dealing with placements. Is it better? Thank you. No, it's working. All right, thank you. This is better. Once more, good morning to everyone. Thanks for coming again and giving us this opportunity so that we're able to update our parents, our schools, and everyone who's really interested in the sector and the workings. We're at that tail point, towards the end rather, of our admission period. Obviously, this one is the most hectic out of all of them, but actually it should be the end. Tomorrow we're starting with our placement offers to parents. As we had indicated that the 16th of September, we'll start releasing those what we'd call happy SMSs to parents for those who have applied. So those SMSs will begin to come in the morning for grade 1 and 8. So far, the process has been quite good. We are happy as a department as to how far we have come, and really want to applaud the parents who have responded positively to our requests since the beginning of the admission period up until now. So placement offers will begin, parents will be getting SMSs tomorrow morning, from tomorrow. But that process is going to continue until we are done with the last learner to be placed. So what that means is that not all parents will be getting SMSs tomorrow. But even if, let's say, you don't get an SMS as a parent, go to the GD admissions page and check if you have not been offered a space, or the child has not been offered a space. So I would urge parents that rather go to the log into the GD admissions and check and confirm. But majority will be getting placement offers tomorrow. So I would urge parents to please tomorrow morning log in and check for placement offer, because sometimes the SMS system might not send you and assume there's no offer, but it's there on the system. So just go on the GD admission system to check your offer. So as the offer is done, you'll have two options: to whether accept it as final or provisionally accept the offer. So parents, there are parents who have applied to 5 schools, 3 schools, or more than one rather, because we urge parents to apply to more than one school. So as you get those offers coming in, a parent can accept the offer as final on the system. So what that means, that automatically the child's name is moved off the system, and other schools, as they try to place the child, it will show that the child has been accepted at another school. But parents who choose the option of provisionally accepting, which is also fine, because we do not want to disadvantage parents. The parents can provisionally accept the offer, meaning that space allocated for the child will be kept by the system, awaiting other offers. But there's a period to it, about 2 weeks or so, can be 14 days. By that time, you would be able to see that all the other schools have reached capacity or not. Then the child will be placed there in the provisionally accepted space offer. And these are spaces that schools that parents chose. I'm speaking about the complete applications and schools that parents chose. That's the offers they'll be getting. So with that provisional acceptance, it's good. But if you provisionally accept, and then you get another school that you prefer a bit, you provisionally accept, then you automatically lose space in the other one, up until you have the final, you accept the final placement offer. And parents will have 7 days to make that decision. The space will be given to you for 7 days to accept or not, whether it's final or provisional. If you don't accept within those 7 days, the child is automatically placed at that school. So that's why we're urging parents to go tomorrow, go log in and check the placement offer. As we had said in the last press conference, we indicated that we are sitting at 828,364 applications. These applications, out of this, we had 353,409 for grade 1, 474,955 for grade 8. And unique applications. So now the application system, as you apply, is then registered as an application. But now unique application, now it's individuals, the child. So from the unique application, we're sitting at 344,890 unique applications. Of these, the completed ones are 325,858. These are applications that we're processing currently, that we're dealing with, we're offering spaces. The incomplete ones are 19,032. So these ones, we are going to put them on the side. We are not going to offer them space. We are not going to place them up until we get all the. But that process will begin much later on, when we are done with the completed applications. So our priority now is the 325,858. And they are categorized as 157,406 for primary schools, for grade 1 rather, 168,452 for grade 8. Those are the ones that we are currently dealing with to place now. I have to say that our system, we've got capacity to place 403,446. But this number seems that as if Matome can place everyone. Of course, the spaces, this is the space that we have. But these spaces are not where people are in some instances. So that's where the challenge is. So these are areas where there's no pressure at all. But we have pressure areas. And the challenge with the pressure areas is because of the developments in those areas. Back then, the yards were single households with a yard. People sold their houses, now they're building high-rise buildings. So where you used to have, let's say, 8 families, we are sitting with 200 or 300 families because it's flats. So they are bringing the kids. That's why we have pressure areas such as those. And so those are some of the challenges. So in those pressure areas, we still have the pressure areas, extreme pressure areas, but we're working around the clock to ensure that we are able to create enough space to place the learners. But we will place all the learners eventually. So this is where we're sitting. The complete and incomplete application process was still the same, just to remind parents so that they are aware. It was a 5-step process, and these parents followed through the whole 5-step process, providing the necessary documentation up until they did receive an SMS that your application is completed. The incomplete ones is parents who start the process but never completed. They never submitted documents. They didn't give us the proof of home address. There was no any form of documentation from the child to. Some will just register the name of the child and leave. So these are the incomplete ones. So these ones will deal with the target date that we're intending be from the 11th of December. That's when we're going to open up for incomplete application and late applications. This is a period where we'll be calling them to come and resubmit their documentation. So the placement criteria remains as such. The first point that we utilize to place a child is the home address within the school feeder zone. The operative word is the school feeder zone, and that's where most parents really get confused with. They assume that because you are next door to a school, you are therefore in the feeder zone. The feeder zone is a demarcated area that was agreed upon, amongst others, by the SGB of the school, that we are going to service this particular area. And this is an agreement with the schools in around the area. So you need to understand it as such. But that point is also noted. We know that parents will come with, I stay next door, why am I placed there when I'm here? But you are placed in your school feeder zone as opposed to what you assume is closer to you. So the school feeder zone is quite important. And that's why we always urge parents to look at it, the school feeder zone. The system did even give that option to show you where is your school feeder zone so that it's easier for parents to understand. Second one is the siblings and the previous school. Third one, work address within the school's feeder zone. And then the fourth one is the home address within the 30-kilometer radius. And then the fifth is beyond 30-kilometer radius. So the placement offers will be continually be released up until we're done with the last child. So this is going to be an ongoing process. So I want to urge parents that not to panic. If tomorrow you've not received an SMS and you've gone logged into the system, you don't see anything, don't panic. There's no need to panic. We will place the child. will place the child. So parents, but when also those who got offers, want to urge them to also accept quick. Because if you are given offers in 4 schools or 5 schools that you would have applied for as a parent, so there's 5 spaces that you would have blocked by one child. So it's very important for the parents to accept. As soon as they accept, it releases the other 4 off the system so that we are able to then place other children. So that's where the challenge is. So we want to urge parents that as and when we get in these offers, quickly accept so that we can quickly continue to place more learners in time. But then parents, as I've said, do not panic. Do not panic if you don't receive SMSs tomorrow. So the process, as I've outlined, provisional accepted and acceptance. So we had schools that were oversubscribed. These are schools that in high pressure areas where we had more applicants than the capacity of the schools. So of these schools, were 292 of them, which are primary school, and 277, which are secondary schools. These are the areas that we are talking about, the high pressure areas. I mean, for instance, Lar School Acacia, it's got capacity for 240, but it had 1,475 applicants. So quite clearly, it's quite visible clearly that we will not be able to place over 1,200 of those learners into that school. And this is what parents need to also begin to work with us around. But sometimes you might, all 1,475 parents prefer that school as their school of choice, but only 240 can be placed in that school. So if you don't place you in that school or in the other schools, there's a process of transfers that we begin with, but we work with the parents in that process. We have a transfer offer, but before we even get to that point, parents have an opportunity to object. But parents that allowed are those, first of all, there's 2 categories that allows you and which one doesn't allow you. If we've given you a placement offer at any of the schools that you have chosen, you can't appeal it. You can't appeal it because the impression and the understanding is that the schools that you have chosen are the schools that you prefer as a parent. Not by the way, prefer. These are the preferred schools. I want my child to go into to any of these 3 or 5 schools. So those parents will not have an opportunity to appeal. It will not be accepted. The only parents who will be able to object are those that their child have been placed or transferred to schools that they didn't apply for. Those are the only parents. And the process moves up all the way up to the MEC. And the MEC's decision is final. So the appeal can go only up to the MEC. They will have 7 days to object. They will be responded to within a period outlined. And then from there, up until the final decision is made. But ultimately, the final decision is about the learner being in class and being at a school. And that's what we will be working with parents for. And every case is just based on merit. So there's no an assumption that this process has no positive outcome or a negative. Every case is just based on merit. We look at it and then thoroughly. Where there was a mistake, the department and the district together with the schools, they have to correct it. There. So parents work with us. There's a process in place to allow all parents to really feel that there is an intervention within the system. So parents, that's where we are. So tomorrow, it's happy SMSs for your bundle of joy. All parents will be, not all of you might be getting SMSs tomorrow, but I would urge you to go to log in and check if there's not been any placement offer for your child. But even though there might be, if you don't panic. don't panic. We will be placing learners up until we're done with the last one. And this year we have improved our system in such a way that we are certain that we'll be complete with this process within the next 2 months. We should be done with placing our children in schools. So for more information, you can continue. We have a contact center. They can go to any district offices. We've got 15 district offices. Any one of them, parents can go there. And they can come to the head office. But I would urge you to go to the district offices first before you come to the head office and see if you don't get joy there, then obviously then the next step is to come to the head office. So the contacts are there and the areas covered by each district office is outlined there. We have our hotline, we have our WhatsApp line, we have all our social media pages to inquire on and to lodge, to ask questions. They are there. So we from the side of the department, we are ready to work with parents and we are urging parents to work with us. But what we will guarantee you is that we will place your child at a school. That one we can guarantee you as a parent. So rest assured. So don't panic, don't worry, we'll place your child. And please work with us and have trust in our schools. We are working around the clock as Gauteng Department of Education to ensure that all our schools are schools that are safe, are schools that have got proper teaching and learning, are schools that are disciplined, and our schools have a comprehensive extracurricular. That's what we're striving for as a department, and that's what we're working around the clock to have. So have a trust in our schools, and don't judge schools based on the, for instance, we'll say it's the township schools. Where we've been demonstrating over a period of time that there are township schools that are far better than some former Model C schools in terms of performance in metric, in terms of learner discipline, in terms of extracurricular activity. So trust us that we're working around the clock to ensure that all our schools are at the same standard. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MEC. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now go to Q&A. We'll take we will take questions. I will indicate, and you will just remember your number. You know the drill. Introduce yourself and the media house, and then go straight to question. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was 5. Can you give them a mic? Yeah, in that order. Mongezi.
Good morning. This is Mongezi Goko from Eyewitness News. My question really pertains to the capacity issue. You did dispel the fact that there were a number of complaints, particularly to this academic year, last year, where parents said their children had not been placed, and there were reports that around about, I think, 1,500 or if not 15,000, I may be mistaken, MEC, were unplaced. But you did say that the Gauteng Education Department successfully placed all children that applied for the 2024 academic year. So my question really has to do with the capacity mitigation strategies that the department has. In terms of accepting those that applied on time and followed the procedure, and also those that did not find the opportunity or found challenges when using the online admission system. Will there be mitigation processes in place, and will each and every single learner who applied be placed? Thank you.
Next one.
My question has been asked.
Kilakaleo. We move.
It's Naomi Kobe here for ENCA MEC. You know, we have seen the 2023 National Wage Agreement and, of course, wage hikes there for public servants. Of course, the Western Cape Education Department announcing, that the scrapping of over 2,000 jobs there of teachers. So my question to you would be, in terms of the Gauteng province, what impact that has or may have in terms of budget in the province, and just in terms of what you are doing, to mitigate any potential, I suppose, effects there.
My name is Offense Timo from SABC News. MEC, I'd like to know about, in particular, the high pressure areas. My question is more similar to Mongezi's, where it's common knowledge that there are high pressure areas where schools are not able to meet the demand. What is the plan, the long-term plan to try and address this? The previous media briefing, you did mention that, Gauteng, it's not your fault that Gauteng is popular, that people are moving from their provinces to come to Gauteng, but what is the solution to this particular challenge that seems to be long-standing? Thank you.
Last one.
Thank you very much, MEC. Zola Sholwana from Newsroom Africa. You spoke about parents with incomplete applications. Now, some of them haven't submitted documents. Do we know why we have such issues? Is it not because some of them are not able to use the system? Well, if they aren't able to use it, how are they being assisted? Because you'd understand that as much as we are moving with the times, not everyone is on board in terms of using technology and all of that. Perhaps you can come up with some interventions that you have done as the Department of Education to ensure that parents that are having issues with this online system are also assisted.
Thank you very much. MEC will start and probably delegate some of the questions to the colleagues on the table. Thanks,
All
MEC.
right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Maybe let me start with the wage agreements and the budget cuts, and how the MEC in the Western Cape decided to just send letters to schools that will be cutting teacher posts by 2,004. Look, all departments are affected. I mean, all provinces rather, all of us. And we are a bigger system than them. We're looking at about 3,400. Yeah, we're looking at about 3,400. But we're not moving in the direction of the Western Cape, that MEC. We're looking at alternative ways to ensure that we keep our educators. Remember, we are a growing system. There's no way that we can employ educators, because we'll end up having a classroom of 100 learners per educator. That's not what we're not going in that direction. Unfortunately, there will be a cut in certain programs, scholar transport, school nutrition, LTSM. We're cutting everywhere to make sure that we try to keep our educators. So we're working around the clock as a system to buffer that impact. But we are experiencing, the pinch is there. We can't lie. We're looking at about 4.5 billion in the medium term budget cut, which is a lot of money. So it has put us as a department into a lot of pressure and strain. So we're not buffered. But we're working with the HOD and the department to ensure that we keep our educators, and really we begin to also continue to employ. And now, for instance, with high pressure areas, for instance, we have provision for about 1,000 plus growth posts for those schools in those high pressure areas, so that we can employ educators. So for us as in Gauteng, we are approaching this thing differently. We are not going to go and then create an alarm, when potentially we can find other mechanisms to try to buffer. But we are negotiating with Treasury to see how then we can work together to ensure that we continue to get adequate funding. So I must say I was a bit, I was a bit disappointed when I saw that the MEC really decided to take that particular move and really create a panic within the sector, which it should not have done in my view, because no other provinces. It doesn't mean that other provinces are not in the same position, but we need to come up with alternative, innovative ways to ensure that we continue to keep the standard of teaching and learning in our schools. And so that's the best approach that we would have taken. The high pressure areas, we have alternative ways in terms of increasing learning spaces. Self-build, where we have given schools money to build additional classroom capacity. And I have to say that some schools have really succeeded in this program and some did not. Some did not. So those that have succeeded really have made us proud as a department, but it is an intervention or a model that actually does work. It just needs obviously proper guidance in schools that were not able to really get this program right. But it has built a lot of classrooms, increasing the spaces. Also, we have provision for, I would say temporary, which is not my favorite. We have mobiles, which I don't want mobiles at all. But also we are continuing to build schools. We have set a target of a number of schools that we'll be building this term. And we know by the time we're done with these schools, you would see that in the next 2-3 years, in the medium term, the impact of the pressure would have been mitigated greatly. But obviously it's a work in progress in terms of building these new schools and ensuring that we increase our classroom spaces. So with regard to incomplete applications, there are a number of factors. First thing, let me start with the system. I saw this morning on the newsroom, they were running a poll. Does the system work, the online system? And truthfully, this is the best system. I can argue it at anywhere that this system, the online admission system, actually works. I've just demonstrated that we have 344,000 parents. Imagine 344,000 parents at schools, queuing at Acacia Lyre School, 1,400 of them, just for 240 spaces. By the time they leave there to try to get to other schools, it's virtually impossible. And what about those that work? What about those that are maybe in hospital, they are not well, they are sick? What about those that are out of the province or out of the country at that time? So really, if anyone says to me, MEC, I've got a better way of dealing with admission, let's talk, let me see that this system can do. Because the system has made it very convenient for parents to apply for their children to get spaces in school. Very simple. Parents used to queue for days before. A parent, they will even sleep there just to get a space in a school. Now, if that is not really degrading a parent, I don't know what is. To have a parent to sleep outside a school just to get the child into a school, that's a violation of their rights. So with the system, we made it convenient for everyone. So the incomplete applications are not necessarily that there is no intervention. I mean, for instance, the fact that the parents started shows that they know how to start. Let's start there. They knew what to do. They knew that I need to log in, I need to create a profile, I need to start doing that. And that's exactly what they did. But over and above, we created working centers across the province, everywhere, over 8 of them. We opened our schools. Parents could go to any school, even the school that they prefer, to go and complete the application. They could go to any district offices. We have our hotline, we've got our WhatsApp line, we've got our all this we've been communicating over and over and over to parents, especially those ones with incomplete application, the 19,000. They know very well, those parents, wherever they're sitting, that the department did everything possible they could do at that point through the means that we had, the SMSs, trying to communicate with them over and over, come and submit your application. This document is missing. Bring this document, proof of home address, bring us this, bring us that. They did not bring, so the applications are incomplete. So the application is incomplete. So it will not say, you can't bring it necessarily to say that the department didn't try. And that's why we'll continue to do it. That's why I was saying on the 11th of December, when we open for late applications, they'll be there amongst they'll get SMSs to remind them to please bring the documentation. Because you can't place a child if you don't have documentation. Who are you placing? We don't know. You can't say that we are placing Matome Chiloane, but just the name alone. We need information about the child. Where's the child coming from? Where's the school? If they're going to grade 8, if they're grade 1, where's the clinic card, etc. So we need those information. So parents need to give us that information. So it's not necessarily that it's a capacity problem or or we don't want to, the parents really struggle because of technology. No, we've really made it very easy. Parents could submit physical documents at the school. And then the school, they'll get an SMS. Plus, the school, they were given a letter, a slip. They get a slip, yes, that confirms that, yes, you submitted your application, your documents. So there are many ways. So that's with regard to incomplete application. But overall, look, I saw that poll, and I agree. Obviously, there are parents who are really quite frustrated over time, saying that I've applied on the first day. Maybe they assume that I applied in the first 5 minutes. In the first 5 minutes, because they will say that. They always say that. None of them will say I've applied after 2 days or 3 days. But they'll always say I applied on the first day. Before 10 minutes, I was done with my application, etc. Why is my child not placed? And why is Rufus Mutlana's child placed? But we are next door to each other. So we know that we do have those things, but it does not necessarily say the system has not made life easier. It has made life easier. And I'm saying that those who say the system is a problem, tell me, how do you expect a school to function with 1,500 parents outside trying to register, get their child into that school? Literally, there will be no teaching and learning for a week plus in that particular school. That will be disruption, that will be chaos. And with technology, with 4IR, where we're going, this system has made it convenient. It really has. Majority of parents who tomorrow will be getting SMSs, they will not be complaining about the system. I can tell you now. But I understand those, and I really sympathize with those that would feel that the system might have not placed their children at their preferred school. And I'm saying to them, trust Gauteng Department of Education to place your child closer to where you would have initially applied and at a school which is functioning, well run, proper disciplined school, proper qualified educators, and with a comprehensive extracurricular activity. Because in this year, in the next term, for the term, we are reviving school extracurricular activity in all our schools. And they will see kids they'll be more active, because I know that there's been a concern since COVID. There was a bit of slack, but we're bringing it back again. School sports has been moving up nicely. We're getting all our children into these extracurricular activities in our province. Thank you.
HOD, can you just add on the
Thank you very much, MEC. Maybe just to start with the issue of additional capacity, MEC has covered the issues of mobile satellite schools and the new schools. But I can also confirm that in 431 schools, which are high pressure schools, we have transferred the second tranche of the money for these schools to continue building additional classrooms so that they can accommodate more learners. We transferred the first tranche at the beginning of the financial year, and then as of last week, we transferred the second tranche to ensure that these schools can complete and finish off the additional classrooms, which will be factored in terms of the placements. And then maybe just to add on what the MEC indicated in terms of the teacher provisioning, every year the department is required to declare a basket of posts for the following academic year. And that particular declaration of the basket of posts is determined by policy and is based on the learner numbers in the system. We determine how many posts can we declare for that academic year. As a department, we are aware that the budget cuts have been affecting us tremendously. Therefore, over the last 3 years, we've been retaining the same number of posts in the system to ensure that we can cushion the compensation of employees. And for 2025, we're also intending to declare the same number of posts so that the learner-teacher ratio does not get out of control. And we are saying that as a system, or a growing system for that matter, we want more posts. But given budget constraints, we can't increase the number. Our fall position, the baseline is just to ensure that we keep the number of posts we declared last year the same as in 2025. Thank you very much.
Okay, there's one question on X. Unless you wanted to respond to the other questions. Maybe let me just ask this one. Yeah, Director, you will also respond to this one. It's on Pella Bill. CD on X. She's asking whether with the Pella Bill now signed, does it mean that a high school that wants to add a language that serves 2 feeder zone schools can do it now or wait for the application process?
No, with that, the president was very clear. And look, let's firstly applaud the signing of the Pella Bill. As a province, it's really what we've been looking for, a step in the right direction. And there are many other areas in the bill, except the 2 clauses that obviously the president, within his prerogative, has given the GNU partners to really begin to engage on it, which is the language and admission. They've been given 90 days. And we've been waiting for this bill for 11 years. For 11 years. So we can wait for 90 days. But as soon as 90 days passes, as a province, we are going to move. We're going to move. But on the other clauses that have been signed by the president, we're also going to move. There's one that speaks about auditing the finances of schools. For the longest of time, some schools have kept their finances very secretive. So we'll be able to know. This is transparency. This is what we call about, this is what we mean that transparency. Everybody must be transparent. And this is really a great opportunity so that we know the true state and the financial state of our schools. It's very difficult for the HOD to account because as the accounting authority of the department, for matters that they are struggling to even get information on because of certain pieces of legislation. But over and above those 2 clauses that the president has given 90 days for further engagement, the rest of the bill, which is quite progressive, we will implement it. We have full confidence in the president. We have full confidence in the DBE. That includes the minister, because the minister said before boycotting or I don't know if boycotting or, okay, she decided not to come to the signing. And obviously we saw the letter. But she had said that because she's a Minister of Education, once the bill is signed, she will implement. And that's what we're going to hold her accountable on. That you said you will do this. And that's the expectation that South Africans are expecting, that the minister will implement the bill as signed by the president. Because now it's an act, it's law, it's a non-negotiable. So that will be done irrespective. So we are hoping that, look, in the past, just demonstrating the few weeks in the ministry that she understands the role as that she's the Minister of Education in South Africa and the responsibility that comes with that position. But overall, ourselves in provinces, we are moving ahead. We'll be moving ahead quickly to ensure that we implement the rest of the clauses and wait for that 4 and 5, the 90 days to come and see what happens. Obviously, we'll be guided by our leadership with regard to those ones, and then we'll implement. But overall, we are happy as Gauteng province. I have to say this. We are happy as Gauteng province about this bill. It will really, really, really take us forward in terms of transforming our schools. We can't have a single medium school, especially in our province. In other provinces, they're dealing with 2 or 3 languages or 4 maximum. We're dealing with all languages. There is no single community or a space in our province where it's one community, it's one language. It doesn't exist. It's not possible in our province. So in our province, that's very, very important to us. And it will also assist us to really increase spaces. Yeah, it's going to assist us to increase capacity greatly. In fact, the people of Gauteng, they will see that perhaps maybe we never really had the challenge of spaces as we thought, as much. Although we'll have, because our system is growing, Gauteng is a growing population, but it will really go a long way to assist us with the spaces.
Thanks, MEC. Just to also reiterate what MEC has said, we know that there are parents that would be coming out MEC as soon as the offers go out and say, I've applied, but my offer is not coming through. MEC has forever been saying to parents, avoid using internet cafes, because firstly, you pay for a service that is free. When you go to any working center that is set up by the department, you don't pay a cent. You go into an internet cafe, they make you pay. But the risk of internet cafes as well is that they have used portals that we don't know. So some parents submitted applications, we don't know where, but they've paid for them and they are not in our system. So it's very, very important for parents to be alert and know that internet cafes are not an option, particularly if every school in the province can assist you. Every office of the department can assist you. There is really no reason for parents to go and pay for these services at internet cafes and creating more headaches and problems for themselves. Thanks.
The last round. One, do we have any other hand? Okay, let's get that one.
Zola Sholana from Newsroom Africa once again, MEC. I'm hearing my lady speak about, saying to parents that they should avoid going to internet cafes for applications. But now, are parents aware of these, centers that they can use to apply for their children? What if an internet cafe is the only place that they have access to, or that is closer to where they live? Are you doing enough education as the department to let parents aware, perhaps through SGB structures, that this is where they can actually apply for their children? And also, what is going to be different this time? Are we not going to have another situation where over 34,000 learners missed the first day of school because of these complications of the online admissions? What is different about this time? Are there any improvements, MEC?
Okay, she's Mule Matonsela.
Okay, sorry.
Acting Chief Director, School Management, for strapping there in the office.
All right.
I'm not sure, MEC, you will take. Oh, do you have another one? Do you have another question from the floor? No, I think we're fine. Yeah, MEC.
You know, let me explain again in this way. In terms of communication, we've really worked. I'm impressed with the team. I've applauded my communication team in terms of how they've gone out to really spread the message of the admission period. And then we have set up working centers, but parents could also go to the school. And we've always said that. Go to the school for help. You can apply at the school. That's why when we gave a report, the last press briefing, we said the only few challenges we've had was when some schools, because of maybe potential load reduction, as we call it now, if it's load reduction or a Wi-Fi down for some reason or the other. Those were the only challenges that we flagged. And that day where the system was down because of CETA, I don't know if it was upgrading or maintenance, that we extended the 2 days from the 12th to the 14th. But those are the only two issues that we flagged as a challenge. But we have informed parents, and parents are aware. That's why I said, if we give you an audit of why there's incomplete application, it's not that they did not start. They started, but they stopped because they could not provide documents that we needed. Proof of home address, they could not provide it. Some didn't even choose, they just registered the name of the child and then they left it as such. So we have communicated. Now the 34,000 that you are speaking about missing the first day, these are late, generally those who are late applications. It's not the 325,000. It's never the 325,000. It's those parents with late application who have brought their kids from other different provinces, or they bring them, or they apply late, or they didn't apply now, so they're applying late. And then when they apply late, unfortunately, the schools that they want, they will not get because they will only be eligible to apply at schools they find on the system. And that's where the problem is. And when they realize that the schools that they want is not on the system, they apply for any school. From there, once they have done with the school, they go to the district office to demand that, no, my child has been placed at a different school, which they know. So certain level of integrity is also expected, and you need to understand it. That our obsession now, currently, is the 325,000 who have complied. And I thank them, those parents, that for you to go out and comply. And as a department, we will make sure that we ensure that children are placed and they get those messages. And by the beginning of the academic year, the 325,000 learners will be going to schools. Those ones will be in school. The late applicants, they are the ones that go to districts, lie in the districts most of the time, and really say that we have not placed their children at schools that they want. We've placed their kids at schools that they don't want. Because the transfers, even when we're dealing with transfer, we're very reasonable. We engage the parent. It's not a process that the department does on its own and say, here, your child is going to the school. There's a process of engagement. The parent comes back and says, no, not this one, this way, they can go. Then those ones, they really actively, there is a form of communication between the department and the parent. Those are the different, but these other ones, the 34,000, these are part of the late applications. Last year we received about 40, how many? Yeah, we received 40,000 late applications. 40,000. So that's where we are. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's then leave it here. Thanks very much.